Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video. And in today's video, I'm gonna give you guys some tips and tricks when it comes to the end of the game. I'm gonna show you guys exactly what you need to do in order to win very consistently and also very easily in the end of the game. So I'm gonna be covering a lot of things in this video, so make sure you guys do stay to the end of the video. I have a ton of tips to share with you guys. And before we get into the video, up on the screen I have the V-Buck giveaway winner of this week. I appreciate all you guys who entered the giveaway. I'm going to be giving away a free battle pass next time, so if you guys want a chance to win the free battle pass for season 10, all you guys have to do, drop a like on this video, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and as well subscribe to my second channel. I post a ton of really good content on there, so make sure you guys do subscribe, turn on my post notifications, and as well leave a comment down below of your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account. And if you guys would like to support me as a creator in the item shop, all you have to do is go over to the item shop, go into the bottom right hand corner, support a creator, and type in my code. My code is Young Humor. Type it in and you guys will have me supported as a creator. And alright guys, let's get to the video. Alright, so in this video, I mainly want to focus towards the end of the game and just give you guys some tips and tricks to really clutch out those games and, really stop losing as many games you should. Because really the worst thing that can happen, you have a really good game and maybe you're having an insanely good game, maybe you have a lot of kills, 15, 16, 17 kills, and then you end up losing to like the last two players when you know you should have won. Maybe they weren't the best of players, and you end up choking and you really don't know why. So I want to cover a few things in this video when it comes to the end of the game to help you guys out and just prevent you guys from choking as many games. Because Fortnite, a lot of gunfights, there's going to be a lot of things different, but there is a few general rules that you want to follow when it comes to the end of the game that's just going to allow you to win very consistently without having to do much effort. And it also really depends on which game mode you're playing, because in solos you have to play a little bit differently than you're in a duo game or maybe even a squad game. There's a few different things that you want to consider when you're playing in solos versus duos and squads. Because in solos, just from my personal experience, people played way slower than duos and squads. Towards the end of the game, obviously, the way people are going to play and their playstyle is going to be so much slower. The middle of the game, people play pretty fast. The beginning of the game, it's kind of a mix between slow and fast. Mid-game, it's usually pretty quick. And then towards the end of the game, people play extremely slow because, to be honest, nobody wants to choke, so they're not going to be rushing around like me trying to fight every player they possibly can. So generally speaking, people are going to be playing a lot slower to the end of the game, and you can also use that to your advantage as well, because when you're going into the different fights, there's a lot of different things you can consider. And just for general rule, when you're playing in solos, people play a lot slower than if you're in duos or squads, because in duos and squads, people feel like they have a little bit more leeway because they do have a teammate, they have someone to rely on. So in turn, a lot of times they're going to be playing a little bit more aggressive than in solos. People are by themselves and people play a lot more scared, a lot more passive, and that's just how it is. It's something you just have to get used to. So in solos, it can be a little bit more difficult. And especially this is true if you want to go for high kill games, it's going to be a lot more difficult because people are going to be dying quicker. There's no reboot vans, and at the same time, people are going to be playing slower. More people sit in boxes from what I've seen, and it's just kind of the overall playstyle of solos. And that's kind of a main reason why I don't enjoy solos as much, and I'd rather play duos or squads because it is a lot faster and people don't camp as much. And in my personal opinion, it's a lot easier to clutch out a game against people who play a little bit more aggressive than people who just camp in boxes and spray you across the map with sniper rifles. Because that's really the worst thing that can happen, and it happens pretty much every single game. You're either in a gunfight, you're fighting one team, or maybe you're fighting another team. And what happened is, you're fighting that team, maybe you're in a build fight, and then you have a team that's like a good 150, 200 meters away, camping on top of a hill in their bases, or really just sitting back and playing super slow, sitting on ballers, and then just trying to go for sniper shots on you, and just being super annoying during that fight. So the entire time during the fight, you have to worry about a guy to your left, maybe a guy to your right with a sniper rifle. It's just one of those things you don't want to have to deal with every single time. So that's why it can be a little bit annoying and tedious in the end game if you want to play a little bit more aggressive, because you have people just camping and sitting on top of buildings, sitting across the map, just trying to shoot their sniper rifle and just be annoying like that. And in most of the games that I played on towards the end of the game, this is just something that you can do that I think drastically helps in so many different levels. Towards the end of the game, at least for me personally, maybe it's because I play a little bit more aggressive, I go for more kills, and I pick up more loot. but generally speaking, I have a ton, I mean a ton of metal every single game. As you guys can see right now, I have over 800. I'm just absolutely stacked on metal. And at this point, at the end of the game, if you have a ton of metal, if you have above like 400 or 500, you should only be using metal. And the main reason, just being towards the end of the game, that's when everyone's going to have the best loot, because everyone got kills throughout the game, or most people got kills. There's always going to be that one guy who literally has like 0 kills or 1 kill towards the end. But they're generally speaking, they're going to have a SCAR, combat shotgun, and they're going to have weapons that can do a lot of damage, and also a lot of weapons that do a lot of damage to structures, maybe even some explosives. So if you want the best chance when it comes to not getting shot out, having a little bit more protection when you're building, maybe you're boxing and trying to get off heals, 100% recommend steel. And also, if you're trying to res your teammate and you have steel walls down, if it fully builds, they can't see you inside of it, but as wood, it's really easy, you can see inside of it. I think brick and also metal are the two structures that you can't see inside, or maybe only for a pyramid. With brick, you might be able to see through a brick wall, but with steel, for sure, the walls, you can't see through them once they're fully built. So you also do have that advantage when you're using steel. But mainly for me, it's just so much stronger. And if you guys don't know, because you guys already know, the max HP on metal is a lot higher than on brick or wood. But a lot of you guys might not know that the starting HP on metal is already higher than wood. So that means even if you just place it, it already has way more HP than wood or brick. I remember I ran the numbers a few times. I think wood starting HP was maybe like 90, 95 or something like that. And I think metal was about 110, maybe 115. I could be completely wrong, but I think it was something around that. I'm not 100% sure, but something within those numbers sounds about right. So even with that being said, you really just want to use metal as much as possible towards the end of the game. That's going to give you the best chance overall for just being able to clutch out games, just because you're able to defend a lot better. And if you want to build for a high ground and you're going against multiple players, maybe it's a 1v2, 1v3, you definitely want to have metal, and it's just going to save you time and time again. And I just think it's not even, I wouldn't even say using wood's a mistake, but it's just something that I see if they used metal, it probably would have ended a lot better and more in their favor. So 100% always remember to use metal towards the end of the game, and more than likely you're going to have max metal, because if you guys didn't already know, they increase the amount of loot you get from llamas, and you get 350 materials each of llama if you didn't already know that. Because I remember they changed it a while ago, they made it really low. They actually did increase it pretty recently, and I kind of just noticed it like last week, but that is something also to consider as well. And one other thing to really consider as well, like I did mention earlier, maybe you're in a build fight and there's going to be a team like 200 meters away trying to go for sniper shots. Towards the end of the game, there's going to be third party after third party, and it might not even be them actually challenging you directly. It could be, but it mainly just is people across the map trying to get shots on, trying to shoot the build down. So that's just something you really do have to consider. And I talked a little bit in my last video about risk versus reward, because if you want to play aggressive towards the end of the game and you want to go for those kills, maybe you're just a few kills under the kills that you want to get for the game, you do really have to consider the risk and the reward that you can get. Obviously the reward being getting a few kills, maybe getting a ton of loot off of that player, but at the same time you do risk getting third partied, and it is towards the end of the game, so everyone's going to have the best weapons, the best loot, and also have crazy amount of materials. So it can just be a real pain to try to kill and rush a lot of players towards the end of the game unless you have time and there's not other people shooting at you. But a lot of times people are going to be sitting back playing slow looking for shots, so you do have to consider towards the end of the game. I feel like that's when I had the worst third parties, and when I died at third parties, it was usually towards the end of the game because it was just so much harder to defend. And I would just say those are the main things that you really want to look out for towards the end of the game if you want to be very successful, because I understand everyone's playstyle is going to be a little bit different, so you might play a little bit different, might play a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more passive, and what you want to do in those situations really just depends on your playstyle, really depends on your mat count, your loot, your HP, because if you don't have a lot of shields, then you really, even for me, I want to play a little bit slower. Not really slower in the sense that I don't want to challenge that player. I mean slower in the sense I want to be careful on how quickly I challenge and what kind of pushes I make, because I like to go for aggressive plays, but at the same time I can risk getting hit for a ton of damage. So that's just something to consider and something that I have to look out for if I want to be able to get a lot of kills in the end game and also be very successful and win a lot of games. And with that being said, that's a wrap it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys liked it, make sure you guys do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn on my post notifications so you guys are notified for every single new video, and alright guys, I'll see you next video.